Sit back, relax, as we bring you some context.
What's going on? I'm Donnie Houston and you're watching Khntxt with Khntxt. To be honest, man, it's like kind of in me, you know what I mean? Like my mom literally raised me on Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding. She's old.
The first thing I want to get into,
okay,
your name change. You went from DJ Don to Donnie Houston. What was the story behind the change?
So DJ Don was the name. That's something from like back in the hood, back when I was living in Harlem Clark. Like when I first got my turntables, my boy just was like, DJ Don, because I was just a little Donnie that hooped, you know what I mean? So I was DJ Don up until, I want to say, 2011, 12, something like that. I had started having thoughts of like, man, it doesn't have any flair to it. Like it was just mad plain, you know what I mean? And then I would start Googling myself and everybody would come up. Yeah, it would be DJ Don Cannon for the first like 3 or 4 pages.
Gotcha.
So you would have to go DJ Don, Houston, Texas. Such and such and such, social security number, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Shit like that, you know what I mean? And it just became like, all right, it's just too hard to find. So if I'm really going to think of myself from a branding aspect on a larger level, I'm going to have to do something about this.
The first material work I heard from you was on Tom P's mixtape, The Wake Up.
Shout out to Tom P.
That project, the way it was mixed together, that stood out. Just as much as her skill. What's the process when you're trying to put a project together like that?
Well, it's like with that, just with mixtapes in general. Like, I'm not young, but I'm not old either. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in the '90s. You know what I'm saying? So when I started DJing, it was the year 2000. Okay, so you go back to then, and even before then, like growing up in the '90s, you know, mixtape used to mean mixing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now a mixtape is just like you get 14, 15 songs, you line them up, this is my mixtape. Right. That's not really mixed, you know what I mean? Right. It's just a certain type of thing. Even with DJing, like, you know, you go in the club now and DJs, they aren't really blend in and this and that, they just kind of just dropping records or whatever. Some people get it in, like Roger's here, he kills it, you know what I mean? A couple of people kill it, but it's just the art of DJing, it's an art to it. It's not just putting some songs together and saying, hey, this is my mixtape. You know what I mean? So when Tom wanted to do a tape, she was like, I want to do a mixtape, I want you to do it. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have some fun.
Right. I looked at the roster of talent you work with, and it just pops out. I'm just gonna name a few. Some Propane to Dante Higgins, Kirk O'Banks, Trader True, Doe Beezy, Latoya Luckett, Leland, Zero, Sauce Twins, Dwayne Wavy. Now, is there ever a moment where you look back and impressed, or are you still in the moment and just kind of just grinding it out?
When you say it, it's like, oh wow, but I don't know. I kind of have a gift and a curse of not really understanding what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess that helps because a lot of people always talk about how I'm humble and I should be more, whatever. But I don't think about it like that. Like, I'm just living life. You know what I mean? And things come along and people come along. You're like, oh shit, this is dope. Let's do it. Whatever. And it's not until somebody else says it or I see it. Like the other day, I think I might have wrote down like who I've worked with and who I wanted to work with. And I was like,
I know I'm leaving names off.
It's a few, but that's cool though. You know what I mean? And I look at this shit and I'm like, damn, like this really happened. You know what I'm saying? This really happened. But
yeah. Where does that come from that you seek these style of records out, style samples out?
To be honest, man, it's like kind of in me. You know what I mean? Like my mom literally raised me on like Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding. She's older. You know what I mean? My mom's in her 60s. You know what I mean? So she raised me on her era of music, and when I was little, we'd be riding the car going to Louisiana or something to go to out of town or somewhere else, and I'd be annoyed, like, man, why we can't listen to 102 Jams or 97.9 or something? This is back when 102 used to play rap back in the day.
Okay.
But
I don't know about 102. Was that a Univision station?
Nah, it was Radio 1, but like 102 still here now, but it's like an older, like adult contemporary type Magic 102. Okay. It used to be 102 Jams, and Mad Hatter was on 102 Jams.
Oh, wow.
Before 97.9.
Okay.
And then you can actually hear it. If you go back and watch Jason's lyric, the radio comes on at some point in the thing. It's like Mad Hatter 102 Jams. Mad Hatter used to be on 102 Jams.
102 Jams, my man Brad, better known as Scarface, kicking that fat one right there like Jesse James on your radio.
Yeah, I'm cool.
And 97.9 was more like, they play like reggae and stuff like that. And then somewhere around like 93, 94, 95, somewhere up in there, they switched it. And it became the format that it is now. But to your point though, that's just what I was raised on. So My mom's in her 60s. I have an older sister who is 46, 47, somewhere up in there. 15 years older than me. I don't want to put my age on camera. But you know, she's in her mid to late 40s. You know what I'm saying? So when I was a small child, she would take me everywhere. And this is like late 80s. You know what I'm saying? So my introduction from her end came from like Run DMC. Like my first tape ever was Run DMC Tougher Than Leather. You know what I mean? This is like 87, 88, somewhere up in there. And I was maybe 2, 3, 4, somewhere up in there. I was a very, very small child, but I used to hear so much LL Cool J, Bad, Salt and Pepper, Push It, like all this stuff when it was fresh. Like I would ride around with my sister in the backseat, and this is what I heard. So between my mom and my sister is like my hip hop love, or what you know, since I hear hip hop reference, that comes from that and knowing like I've heard this shit from the early stages. You know what I mean? And what it, in my opinion, what it's supposed to be and what it, whatever. And then the soulfulness just comes from my mom, and you put that shit together, and you got Donnie Houston.
Categorize yourself more as a beat maker or a producer, and then how would you articulate the differences?
Producer, but I can make beats. But this is the difference, in my opinion. And I'm gonna say fact, fuck it, because I've heard a lot of people say it that are really, you know, like the greats. I've heard them break it down the same way before I even, you know, had my own definition of it. And it's just like a beat maker is someone who makes beats. Like, I've worked with a lot of people, but I could work with much more if I settled for being a beat maker and did the whole send me some beats and I send you, you know, 40 beats in a folder and you just pick the beat and make whatever song you want and whatever, and then I just made the beat. Now that technically you're the producer, but you're not really the producer. You know what I'm saying? Like if this was the 90s or the early 2000s, you'd be a drum programmer and it'd be produced by whoever actually put the record together. It's just like I always ask people, like, what beat did Quincy Jones make on Thriller?
Indeed. He produced the whole vision.
Yeah, but he didn't make one beat. It was a white man that came up with the doom, 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 doom. You know what I mean? But it was him to say, wait, stop right there. Give me that. Okay. Give me some strings. Okay, give me the dun, dun. Give me, okay, Mike, come in. I need you to do, and you orchestrate the whole process. Like, that's where there are people who make better beats than me. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you, like, I make good beats, yes, but there are people who make amazing beats. But I think where I really shine is when we get in the studio and it's like, okay, we're gonna take this beat, we're gonna do this, this, and this. Okay, your voice, I like what you're saying, but your tone isn't matching with the beat. Do this. Okay, don't say the word like that, stretch it here. Give me these, you know what I mean? And really break it down, you know what I'm saying?
I think now, especially now that the definition and the emphasis on producer, on beat makers is becoming a little more clear, at least in the hip hop era, because before it was fuzzy. You hear producer, that's why Diddy took a lot of flack.
Right.
We didn't get it. I think it's coming a little more clear now. Do you think there's a stigma on being called a beat maker?
I would be offended.
Right, because you do the production thing.
Yeah, they might, but the truth about it is if you break down that process, it's like, okay, if you're emailing beats to this person and all you did was send them the beat and they take that and come up with whatever, you know, they want the song to be about, whatever, then it becomes beat making.
I'm Rick, and I'll be here to serve and take your order. Would you like red wine, some liquor, maybe water? The artichoke is delicious, sir, and it's great for starters.
I'm actually meeting someone here, I just wait to order.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I take some vodka when you bring that toast.
Sir?
Staring at the man, I just walk between them doors. The way my body froze down, you swear you think I seen a ghost. So for me,
Father's Day with Propane.
Right.
That had, it was very short filmish. The audio, how you could hear the waiter, the clanking of the dishes, but even with the production side of it, how do you approach a record like that?
Okay, so this is how that record came together. I had the sample for I don't know how long, and I just didn't do anything with it. Like it was just a sample I had, and one day we went in the studio and I was just playing a sample, and Pro was like, I like that. And I was like, okay, you like this? He was like, yeah. I said, okay, bet. And so we was like, okay, what we gonna talk about? Okay, it's obviously something dark. Then it was the whole, okay, we're gonna do Father's Day. I mean, it wasn't called Father's Day, but it was like, it was gonna be like a fatherless song, you know what I mean? And initially he wanted to do like just a long like rap.
Almost like a Joe Budden 10 minutes.
Like a Joe Budden 10 minutes, not really in the way that it came out, but just like a long, like just rap about not having a father, whatever. And slept on it for a couple days, And he had like started writing the rap, and I just came to the studio and I was like, look, bro, that's not what we're gonna do. This is what I think we should do. And then I came up with the whole story of like, listen, you're gonna get a call from your father that you never met, and he wants to meet you at a restaurant. And you're gonna go, but you're gonna be so upset that as he's trying to tell you what's going on, you're not gonna get it out to him until he finally tells you he wants to meet with you because he's dying from cancer. So, okay, boom, that's that. And I said, then it flashes to scene 2, and the second scene is now you're retracting everything that's happened over your life. The last time you saw him at the table and him telling you this, and now you're looking at him on his deathbed. And now you're just thinking about everything that's happened. Like, okay, you feel some type of way, but now it's like, okay, this shit is real. It's right here in front of me. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're starting to feel bad. Like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have blew up on him. But at the same time, dude wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? That it's just real life shit. You know what I'm saying?
These 3 records I saw, you work with Chris Rockaway. I think he's vicious. I think you guys have 2 separate styles, but the records always work. One, how do you put your ego aside to even come together and work on something? And 2, how do you mesh your styles together to come out with something great?
I tell Chris all the time, like, dude, you're the most talented person I've ever worked with. Dude's a freak of nature, you know what I mean? He plays guitars, he plays keys, he plays all kind of shit. If you can think of it, he can play that shit, and good. You know what I'm saying? So there's that thing the way it's like, dog, when I go to Rocks, I'm trying to learn something. First of all, because I'm going into a room knowing, I know music, I know how to put songs together, I know how to make beats and whoop-de-whoop and chop up samples, and you know, we want to have that conversation on who gonna chop up a sample better than me, then I might be like, all right, I'm gonna throw my name in a hat, you know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about really putting some music together, I'm not fucking with Chris Rockaway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not. So why even walk in there and pretend that?
I have a good relationship with an R&B singer named Daenerys.
Okay.
And I know he records with him, and he let me know he doesn't record with anybody.
Nah.
So to produce with somebody that says a lot.
And I guess, you know what I'm saying, you have to ask Rockaway, but I would guess he has a respect for what I do, you know what I'm saying, as well. So it's like a mutual thing, and then we get in there and it's like, I'm gonna come in there with the samples, the drums, the whatever. I know Chris is going to come, it's like the I don't wanna say the yin and the yang, but it's like what I don't do. I don't know how to play guitar. Right. I don't know how to play keys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be able to hum you a bass line and be like, hey, can you maybe do something like yada, 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 whatever. And half the time I don't have to do that because Rockaway will hear it and he'll fall right in. I guess just knowing how I like my shit to sound. Right. He'll fall right in with his shit and it just works, man. Like,
I do want to know how do you create? Does it come to you, or do people come to you with ideas and you kind of go off that?
It's about the vibe, bro. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the vibe is. Like, I look at music like a photo. If we're in the studio right now, you're drinking whatever you're drinking, and we're not recording, we're just chilling. This is going on, boom, boom, boom. We might talk about whatever. You telling me, hey man, this chick, whatever. This is what's going on. We'll pull up some shit that might fit that vibe. If you're a rapper, we're gonna do a song right there, and we're gonna capture that moment. That's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I plan it. Sometimes people come to me with ideas. Hey man, what do you think about something like whatever? Okay. You know what I mean? You meet in the middle. Like it's different, man. Like it's no rules to the shit.
In terms of what you do, in terms of producing, how large of a role do you think it plays in an artist's success?
I think it's very major. I mean, if you're really producing, I think it's very major. Like, there's a difference between just having a hot beat and an artist just going in the studio versus having a beat and having a producer that sees the music from a different side. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you hear music differently. Like when I hear a song, half the time it takes me like 10, 11 times before I catch the words. I'm hearing the beat and I'm hearing how does your voice sound in the beat, and that's what makes it good. That's the last instrument.
Yeah, right.
That's the last instrument. So if that's all in tune and it's like, okay, that's cool, then I might catch up on whatever. Like I remember, I've heard G thing for nothing but a G thing my whole life, and it wasn't until one day I was like, man, these niggas talking some savage shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, these niggas was going in, and I was a kid loving this shit, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's more important, but I would say it's a very key part. Like if you're really producing, to have a producer and an artist work together, that shit is.
You know, your name being branded Donnie Houston. You recently made a move to Atlanta. What compelled you to make that move?
Like I love Houston to death. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have we don't have a lot of the key things that you need to really do some shit on a large scale.
What are some of those key things?
I mean, there's no industry here. It's a bunch of niggas doing music, but there's no industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's taking this shit to the East Coast, to the West Coast, that's not the artist. You know what I'm saying? But and where the as far as the blogs and shit, like Day in a Dream, they killing it. Unfortunately, it's not until Elliot Wilson tweets about your shit, or Complex, you know what I mean, or the Fader or whoever, and most of the shit that they catch on to is because it's right there.
In those pockets.
It's in those pockets. Like Elliot Wilson can be like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go out tonight and I'm gonna catch Troy Ave. Like I felt like what Troy Ave did with the New York City album was no different than what we were doing with Riding Slab. Like it was both very impactful on our prospective cities. You know what I'm saying? What his shit was doing for New York, we were doing this shit in Houston, but he was doing it in New York. So when he goes to get on the radio, he's getting on Hot 97. When he goes to get interviewed, he's getting interviewed on Power 105. Who don't watch The Breakfast Club?
Indeed.
Who don't know who Ebro, you know what I mean? Who don't know these people?
Right.
Peter Rosenberg, who don't know these people? It's not our fault, but it is our problem.
How do you want your story to be told?
Man, when it's all said and done, when it goes down, I just want to be known as someone that's like super passionate about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not involved with any of this shit because I want to be famous. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. I'm not doing it because I necessarily want to be rich. Like that's cool. Would I like to have some money? Oh yeah, of course. But at the same, I want to be known like the same way. You know, you don't look at Denzel because he's rich and famous. You look at him like, damn, nigga's a good ass actor. And that's just what I want to be known for. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I'm Donnie Houston and you're watching Khntxt with Corey Terry.